Okay, so this video is to help you review for your quiz number 2. So, we talked about this slide a long time ago. This is the mechanism for ocean acidification. That's the basis for this unit. And for your first quiz, we looked at what solutions are, how they behave, and how do we measure them. From lessons 8 through 10, we worked on what is equilibrium and what is an acid and what's a base. And this is going to be our third topic and it's going to be covered next week. But for this quiz, we're going to be looking at equilibrium and acid and base. So equilibrium is a state involving continuous change. So here's an example. So any body of water, we know that evaporates. But the rate that it evaporates, so the rate that the water molecules are able to escape the liquid phase is the same as the rate of the molecules they're coming back down. So there's a equilibrium that's happening here. So there's molecules that are able to leave the liquid and go into a gas phase, and there's a number of molecules that actually come back into the liquid phase, so they condense. So the rate of evaporation and condensation is the same. So it's really important here that the rate of change is the same for a state that's in equilibrium. So what does that mean for reactions? So we need to think about reversible reactions. So reversible reactions, so a reaction that goes forward and backwards, says over here, is the one that proceeds freely in both forward and reverse directions. At equilibrium, both products and reactants will be present at the same time. A double arrow between reactants and products indicate a reversible reaction. Reactions that are not reversible are called irreversible. So let's look at an example. So this reaction is a combustion reaction, a combustion of methane. Obviously we know that combustions are not reversible. You never burn something and all of a sudden you notice the wood or something comes back, right? So it's never reversible. But it's represented by one direction arrow. Whereas a reversible reaction, so water plus carbon dioxide forms carbonic acid. By the way, this is one of the previous back here. This is this reaction. Right, this is the beginning of ocean acidification. So this reaction is actually reversible. Okay? And we show reversible by showing a double-sided arrow. So Le Chatelier's principle, I don't know how to say this, I call Le Chatelier, is the one that talks about what happens to a system that's in equilibrium when stress is added to it. Okay. So it has a set of rules, and those rules are extremely important for you to know what happens. For example, I have two reactants that comes together to form two products. They are in equilibriums, so in that solution, there's both products and reactants, and they go back and forth with the same rate of formation. So what happens if I increase amount of A? What happens if I increase the amount of C? What happens if I remove B? So this principle tells you what's going to happen to it. And the way reactions in equilibrium behave is that they'll shift to the right or to the left in order to reestablish equilibrium. Okay, here's the set of rules. For example, if I increase the amount of reactants, so here in blue are my reactants. So if I increase A, the reaction will shift to the right, right? The reaction will shift to the right in order to reestablish equilibrium. So say instead of adding A, I remove A. So if I remove A, the reaction will shift this way, so you shift to the left in order to reestablish equilibrium. The same process can be thought as a product. And then when we talk about temperature, that's something that's also is going to add stress to the equilibrium. So we treat temperature as if it was a product. So temperature can be added as a reactant, and that type of reaction is an endothermic reaction. And it also can be thought of as a product, and that's an exothermic reaction. And I'll show you what that looks like. Pressure is also something that can affect equilibrium. We're only concerned with pressure if it involves gases. If it's a liquid or solid, we do not concern ourselves in terms of how it will affect equilibrium. So let me show you an example. So I put the Le Chatelier principles over here, and this is the example. Hydrogen gas plus oxygen gas forms water gas plus lots of energy is released. So what happens if I increase the concentration of hydrogen gas? So first of all, you need to find, is hydrogen gas a product or a reactant? Look at it over here, it is a reactant. So I go over here, I increase the concentration. What happens to equilibrium? Well, we'll shift to the right. So you put your answer over here, you can either say right, or you can put the arrow indicating towards the right. Concentration of hydrogen gas decreases. So again, this is a reactant, it is decreasing. So decreased concentration will shift to the left. And then this is the arrow. And here we go. Let's keep looking at the examples. Concentration of oxygen increases. Again, oxygen is a reactant, so it will be the same thing as before. It will shift to the right, and then decreasing concentration of oxygen will shift to the left. Okay, let's keep going. Concentration of water increases. I need to find water. Okay, water is a product. So let's look at product. Water increases, so it will shift to the left. So I look over here and I put over here either left or an arrow indicating to the left. So the equilibrium is moving this way. Concentration of water decreases, so it's the opposite of here. So obviously the arrow would be opposite. Alright, let's look at temperature. So temperature increases. Let's find temperature. Temperature is right here, so it's an exothermic reaction. So we can think of temperature as if it was a product because it's under the product. Right, so temperature increases, so the arrow will shift to the left, and this is what the left over here, and again this is the opposite, so obviously the arrow will change direction. Now pressure, so they're all gases here, so we need to talk about one more thing that I forgot to talk about before. When pressure changes in a reaction that involves gases, the direction of the shift is going to depend on the number of moles present on reactant side as well as the product side. So if I look over here, the coefficients here, remember, represent moles. So on the reactant side, I have 1 plus 2 moles. So there's a total of 3 moles of gases here. There's a total of 2 moles of gases here. Okay, so 1 plus 2 equals 3. This one, there's only one product, so it has 2 moles, so 2 moles here. Okay. So what this says is an increasing pressure causes the equilibrium to shift towards the small number of moles of the gas side. So pressure increases. So when pressure increases, the reaction will shift towards the side that has the least number of moles. So the reaction will shift this way. That's the direction. And obviously it's the opposite. For pressure decreases, it's going to shift this way. Okay, so just read this part if this is confusing to you. Okay, but the key thing I wanted to point out is that you do have to count the number of moles.